And what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of that Dynamite review show on the Tricology News Talk. As always, I'm your host with the most, Mr. Tricology himself. And with me, as always, is my co-host, the one and only Mr. Leland Benford. What's up, brother?
What is up, everybody? Oh man, I am in shock from last night. So much happened. I still don't know how to process it. I haven't listened to any other YouTube wrestling news about what happened last night because I wanted my opinions to be authentic and to myself. I didn't want to hear other opinions before we start talking about it. But man, yesterday, boy, oh boy, were we wrong or were we wrong from last week's episode and our predictions of what they was going to do? Boy, they kind of just took it to the whole nother level that we did not see coming.
Yes, it is. And this definitely changed the complexion of All Out. Not just one match, but the entire show, And we'll get into all of that and all the basic stories behind everything. But let's get into the first thing that happened on the show is we started off with a segment with Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia going face to face. So as you know, Jericho came out first. Everyone singing to Judison. So after Jericho made his entrance, Garcia came out, but he had his own entrance. He didn't come out with the JSS intro in there. So yeah, when Garcia entered the ring, he got a big reception of "You are a wrestler" chants. So Jericho told them to shut up. Jericho commenced Garcia's performance last week and choked up their disagreements to this disappointing loss last week. All he wants is an apology for Garcia. Garcia said to Jericho he knew how special it was for him to share his ring with his hero Brian Danielson. He hung with Danielson for 30 minutes. And mind you, the fact Dave, Dave Meltzer and other wrestlers gave it 4.5. I'm like, what? That should have been a 5, but we'll see how at the end of the year when we do our top 5
Right.
match rankings. But
But
we'll see
still,
how
for
they.
Dave Garcia being 23 and getting a 4.5 match with Brian Danielson, I mean, dang, that's still very impressive.
Yeah, and then he said it was the type of a match he dreamed of since he was a kid, but Jericho ruined it. Jericho said that deep down, Garcia knows he's a sports entertainer. No, let me correct that. He is a technical sports entertainer, and he demands him to say it. Then Brian Danielson came out and said, "It doesn't. You earn my respect, kid. You could be anything you want, but in my eyes and my heart, you will always be a wrestler." So, and Jericho had said he had enough. He demanded Garcia to call himself a sports entertainer, but when Jericho tried to stop Garcia from leaving the ring, and then Garcia shoved him down and said, like, stop it, I can't do this anymore. I'm just gonna leave." And then Brian was in the background laughing for Jericho getting shoved down on the ring. So as Garcia left the ring, this leaves Brian and Jericho in the ring. So Jericho fired back saying, "I am tired of Brian hearing saying he's the best wrestler in the world, but um, but he says he was the last survivor of Stu Hunt's dungeon. That he knows more about wrestling than Danielson will ever will, and then Danielson instigated say he was the better wrestler. He even brought up not only Stu Hart, but also Owen Hart, asking them and say, who will be the better wrestler? Is it the American Dragon or the Lionheart?" So both of them agreed to a match at All Out. And then Jericho told Danielson to watch his back. And then right on cue, Jake Hensey came out and attacked Danielson from behind. Man, listen, I already told y'all we was getting Brian versus Jericho. And let me just say this. Brian didn't need this win at All Out because the last few times that Brian and Jericho wrestled, Jericho has won most of those matches, and one of them when NXT was first of all was a competition show, and when he was Daniel Bryan, and then Chris Jericho was the World Heavyweight Champion at the time. So yeah, I remember that match happened. So yeah, Jericho won that. So that's why I mentioned those kind of points. So I'm glad that they brought. I'm hoping that they'll bring out that story. But
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah,
Real
like I said, Bryanson need to win that match at All Out at the next Sunday.
real quick, so happy they're bringing back Lionheart. I even commented on Jericho's page. I hope that wasn't the last time that we see Lionheart because I mean the whole shebang, the whole package of Lionheart, his whole attitude, his whole demeanor, his whole style just changes when he's Lionheart. So happy they're bringing back Lionheart. This is like Jericho doing like a multiverse type thing. You know what I'm saying? I know Jericho is 50, but somehow, man, when he puts in that Lionheart stuff, you can see the shades of his younger self. So this is like Jericho's multi-universe of wrestling right now. So I'm really happy they bring back Lionheart. One other thing, I do not feel bad anymore about saying Daniel Bryan when I should say Bryan Danielson, because last night Bryan Danielson couldn't even get his own name right the third time he said it. He said Daniel Bryan Danielson. So I don't feel bad anymore. If the man himself have a hard time switching from Bryan Danielson to Daniel Bryan, I'm clear, my guy. You feel me? Like I don't feel bad anymore. But no, this is a great segment, having Garcia split between the two and push it down Jericho. I mean, we see where it's going, but I'm glad that they're taking time because they can still swerve us. You know, it can get to All Out and then something happens and Garcia needs to make a decision and he still beats up Danielson. I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So they can still swerve us any kind of way, but the nice drama they're doing and building up Garcia, the kid's 23. He's the future of wrestling. He's going to be our new Chris Benoit, I believe. You know what I mean? Like he has that kind of viciousness that we haven't seen in a long time, and it's come so natural. In the words of Enzo, and you can't teach that. You can't teach to being that vicious and that aggressive, that young in your career. That comes from childhood and some pain, you know? So I'm interested to learn more about Garcia's story. And this is great. I mean, what more can you ask for the 23-year-old kid? He's standing in the ring with Jericho and Bryan Danielson. What more can you ask for? You know what I mean? Like, I'm 10 years older than Garcia, and that still would be a dream come true because these guys' careers have just been that long and that prestigious. So he's learning from the best. And this is, again, one thing that I think AEW does better than any other company is they find these young guys who really have potential and they pretty much put them in a wrestling school with these veterans. You know, I'm starting to see it more and more and more when these young guys graduate from that course with these veterans. You see it with Jungle Boy and Christian. You see it now. We're going to talk about it a little bit later, but Billy Gunn and his boys. You see these guys graduate from these campaigns with these veterans, and they become better wrestlers and better entertainers because of it. So this is a dope program. Looking forward to seeing more. Looking forward to seeing Garcia wipe blood across his face and joins the Blackpool Combat Club, who is on a roll right now. They quickly became the most talked about faction in wrestling.
Bro, Daniel Garcia joined the Blackpool Combat Club. This is amazing how dominant the faction can be because you have four veterans in the group with William Regal being the wise man, and then John Moxley, Brian Dennison, and Claudio leading the group, and then you will have two young stars in Willie Yuta and Daniel Garcia, what could be they could be a tag team together. So it's just a possibility. So yeah, so All Out when it comes to Daniel Garcia, either either he's with Jericho, he's gonna stay in the JSS, the Jericho Appreciation Society, or he's gonna join Brian Danielson with the Blackpool Combat at the BCC. So we don't know. So we're just gonna wait until next Sunday, All Out, to see what happens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, great segment. Looking forward to seeing what happens next.
And then our first match of the night was really a great match. This is one of the two matches that that blew the show, that blew the roof off the show was Jay Lethal versus Dax Harwood. Now
Oof,
listen, now
oof.
listen, FTR is the was it's tag team of the year. But if you're gonna include Dax Harwood in like one of the top five greatest single competitors, I would not blame you. I would not.
Yeah, definitely. Yo, this match right here, it was a match I did not know I needed to see. It was a match that I did not know I wanted to see. It was a match as soon as it started, I said, this is about to be fire. And it was completely fire. So more of this, please.
Yes, so this was a definitely a back and forth chain wrestling to start, but in the final minutes of the match, Dax blocked the dragon screw and got Lethal in a penny predicament for another year fall. He locked in the sharpshooter, but Sanjay John ran out and Dunn let out the hole. Lethal rolled up Dax for a two. Then Dax came back with a repeating penny predicaments for a two count after another cranial exchange. Lethal rolled up Dax for with a handful of tights for the win. And then after the match, Soji Dunn said they will be in the trios match at All Out, but he revealed that Lethal will be teaming with his two close personal friends, which that will be Alice Shelley and Chris Sabin from the Motor City Guns. That's right. You hear me, folks. The Motor City Guns will be making their AEW debuts at All Out, teaming with Jay Lethal in the trios match against the TNT champion Warlow and the best tag team in the world, holding three championships for three different companies, FTR in a trios match. So I actually like this change because because I feel like with Soulja Dunn and Satnam Singh in the match will make it a little weird because I think this will just be a copy match. But now you switch them from the Motor Scene Guns. Now we'll get a perfect, good trios wrestling match between the six and two teams.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be what a shock announcement there. The Motor City Machine Guns. You know, this is a team that's been killing it at Impact. I mean, you can't talk about Impact without talking about these guys because they just been hardcore, true and true Impact guys and like the tag team for the company that they can rely on. So it's good to see them kind of step out and kind of get into some other stuff. And I think it's going to be a hell of a match. You know, it's a team that's they're very known, and I think they could put on a really good match. Now, real quick, this is a match that you can put on for non-wrestling fans, non-professional wrestling viewers. You can put this match on, and they'll love it, and they'll be like, "Whoa, what is this?" Because these guys were hitting hard. Okay, there was no air between those hits. They were giving it their all on those on those chest slaps. So these guys were really giving a show. I mean, professional wrestling at its best. Easily an instant classic. It's a fight forever match. I definitely wanted to hear that fight forever chant. But I mean, these guys just really blew it out. I was very impressed. And actually, yesterday we was watching this, and I was like screaming at how hot, how hard these chest slaps was that it got people in my house interested, and they wanted to come watch the rest of the episode because that match was just that damn good. So give me more of that, please. I need a rematch between those two.
Yeah, and despite the fact that the Motor City Guns are a babyface and Impact, but like I said before, they are close friends with Jay Lethal. So just expect a one-off heel persona for one night. So yeah, so it's just for one night. I don't know. Yeah, like I said before, they're making their AEW debuts all out. I don't know if they're gonna be uh, making more AEW appearances anytime soon, but yeah, I think it's going to be a one off for one night, but we'll see what happens. But next we go backstage with Tony Schiavone with the AEW Women's World Champion Thunder Rosa, and she says she had to step down due to injury. But we'll explain more of that in a second. But
That was sad.
Tony,
I didn't see that coming.
yeah. And Tony Storm will face 3 other opponents in a fatal 4-way for the interim women's world title at All Out. She promised she'll come back better and stronger than ever. So now the fatal 4-way could contest Tony Storm, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Jamie Hayter, and Cardi Sheeta. Now, before I get into the fatal 4-way, let's discuss Thunder Rosa for a second. I don't know if the injury is like real or not, but here's the real story. So Thunder Rosa is currently suspended because her and Britt Baker have not got along backstage. So that's why they just let Thunder Rosa let her cool off for a second, let her take some time off a bit, so that way they can cool off a bit. Now going into this fatal 4-way, if I had to choose, now I would have been fine with Tony Storm versus Britt Baker. That would have been a better choice. But now there's a fatal 4-way. Now you can see either one of the two winning this match. So, but all honesty, I want Tony Storm to win this match more than Britt, because we don't want to see another DMD or Reign again. Because we already seen it happen already. And Jamie Hayter. Now listen, I know she's number 5 in the rankings, but nah, do I really want to see her in this match? Really? And then Okada Shida. Now, I love her. She held it down during the pandemic thing, but she hasn't been in television ready. Now I know she been scoring up some wins during Dark Elevation, but I guess that they just put it in there so because you can have like 2 baby faces and 2 heels in the match. So yeah, but no, nonetheless, the match is gonna be great. But I just feel Tony Storm needs to needs to be the winner out of this.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the way to go for it. But is she ready for the belt? Will it do anything for the title? You know what I'm saying? Like, it may be other people that can do that belt better. I'm not sure, but at the same point in time, New is nice as well, and having that match between her and Thunder Rosa would be nice to come back. So now we're gonna get an interim women's champion.
Yeah. So and we'll get we'll talk about Britt Baker later on
Yep.
in a second. But we got father versus son here with Colton Gunn versus Billy Gunn, and Billy had the crowd in the palm of his hands early on with the match with the Acclaim, but Colton gained control during the commercial, and then after the break, Billy fired back with strikes and stomps. Austin attacked the Acclaim on the outside, distracted Billy long enough for Colton to hit a low blow and the Colt 45 for the win. After the match, Stokely Hathaway was shown looking on. He entered the ring, and he and the Gun Club seemed to enter some sort of agreement. They attacked Billy after the match, and then Swerve and Arguello came out and chased them off, and the 3 teams stared at each other. So, and then after that, the United Empire and the Death Triangle were backstage. Will Ospreay said their goals were to simply gain more gold. Pat said they won't simply kill the United Empire, they will murder them.
That's extreme.
Yeah.
Yo, real quick with the Ass Boys match. My first time, I think it's my first time seeing a father versus son match. Can you think of one outside of this?
No.
I think my first father and son match. Now I got to see Ray versus Dominic. But yeah, I think this. First off, I'm so happy that they claim is getting this huge babyface push. That they're the rap Cassidy did was great. Yeah, Caster. I mean, Max Caster. That rhyme was great that he came out with talking about Biden loan debt and everything like that. This match was pretty good. Like I said, first father and son match. went with a low blow, took him out, pinned him. That was dirty. But I think this is again what I was talking about. This is AEW doing graduation. Like obviously Billy Gunn has been mentoring his kids throughout the pandemic and now here. And I think this is graduation when you see these manager guys, these veteran guys go against their people they were just leading. That's graduation. So now the Ass Boys can go be their own team away from them and start building up their own heat and their own name away from their dad, which is important because, you know, they got to be able to stand on their own and draw on their own without their old man. Billy Gunn looks like he's in incredible shape. I mean, for his age, it's ridiculous. Big dude, man. I would love to see a veteran versus veteran rivalry between Billy Gunn and Dustin Rhodes. Just like a rivalry that's built up just on prove that I'm better. That they both attitude era guys. You know, they both can cut a promo like nobody's business. They both have a great mind for the business. I would love to see a veteran rivalry between those two. I mean, there should be a belt for the veterans. That'd be dope. Like guys who just got 15 years or more, like old dude belt. But anyways, yeah, this story is great. And the promo they did with Swerve and having Swerve and them come out, letting them get the pop and everything. But it's two baby faces versus baby faces, which can always kind of go good or bad because it's like now you just got, you know, it's like no heel tactics going on. No one's cheating to win. It's just a clean match. So babyface versus babyface does work, but just it has to be done right. But yeah, looking forward to this match. Happy to see Acclaim about to get their big pay-per-view moment, their title shot on a major pay-per-view against a hell of a team. And you got the AEW homegrown tag team versus these guys who came in from bigger companies and a hodgepodge kind of tag team, but who are both just hell of competitors. Who do you want to win? These are two of my favorite teams. I don't know who to chant for. I'm going to be split down the middle 50-50.
Yeah, we'll get to that. What they said in the promo and in a sec. But now back to DMD. She went 1-on-1 with Kylie King. Britt hit the Sling Blade right away and dominated in the outside of the match in the early portions. King came back with a German and a face buster for the two. Britt came back with a super kick and a curse star before putting on the glove and applying the large jaw for submission. And then after the match, Britt pointed out, even though Thunder Rosa had to step down during the injury, but Britt Baker wrestled the entire title reign with a broken wrist. Tony Storm came out, but was leveled behind by JB Hater as Rebel posed with a terrible towel in Cleveland. And then Hikaru Shida ran out and chased off Britt and Hater out of the ring. So that was a little preview for their fatal four way all out. Now going back to the promo that you mentioned with the tag team situation. So Swerve and Our Glory and Acclaim were backstage. Lee said they didn't just say the Acclaim because they liked them. They think they are worthy challengers to get a title shot at All Out. The Acclaim accepted, and they say they are the uncrowned tag team champions.
Yeah, so definitely like I said everything about that rivalry just now, but I'm excited for this match, man. I want to see how this goes. Now with the Britt Baker and Tony Storm, I don't know if I'm excited for that match. I don't know. They're two styles together. Britt Baker, I can always see her like stutter and half step and like hesitate. So it's kind of odd with her style sometimes. And I feel like Tony Storm kind of does the same thing. So seeing, I don't know, I'm just not too confident that's going to be like the hell of a match like I would like it to be.
Just a reminder, remember whose boyfriend Bang Bang is Britt hanging out with. Bang Bang. Yeah, so Britt she's changing up her style a bit. So
I mean, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, them being a you know power couple and everything. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just not too excited about them two going at it. Like, I would like to be in my personal um opinion. But let's move on.
Yeah, so we got the undisputed AEW World Championship match. So this lasted under than 5 minutes. So after a club tie up, Moxley overpowered Punk and drove into the corner. Punk fired back, but with a high kick attempt to hurt his injured foot, Moxley landed a hammer and elbows and hit the Death Rider before a second one gave Moxley a win under 2 minutes. And then after the match, AEW officials and doctors check on Punk. Like, oh my God. Like, okay, listen, before we explain our opinions. Now, Moxley wanted to do this match last night. They wanted to do this early, and Punk agreed to it. So when they agreed to it, so I was hoping that we all was hoping that something surprisingly would come out of this, because we all knew it was going to be a BS a screw finish.
Yeah.
And it led that. But now it happened, but
Not how we thought.
It was literally a squash. It was a squash. Like, what the hell?
So technically, so I'm gonna say this. Everybody on the internet saying this is a squash match. Technically, it was not. A squash match is when you have one dominant opponent just completely go and dominate another opponent. There was obviously an injury that happened, or the work injury that they're trying to promote. So if there was no injury at all, and Moxley went in and did what he did and took out Punk, yes, that's a squash. Technically, this is not a squash. This is him. Punk is injured. Punk was injured, and Moxley had an opportunity to win. So that's not really, to me, the same definition of a squash match. But everyone's saying that CM Punk was squashed. But I gotta say this. I'm pretty sure they went ahead done this without some kind of plan. And this was a shock to everybody that this happened the way it was. And it does put Punk in a very particular way. You know what I'm saying? That this makes him look in a certain way. But we did not predict this at all. And you got to give them that. Like, man, they gave us something that nobody saw coming. And it was in Cleveland. Mox is an Ohioan. I mean, the crowd was definitely on his side anyway, you know? And I don't remember ever AEW doing something so shocking in this kind of championship kind of match. But I mean, it's going on in the middle of the show. You know, it's not the main event. And we thought something was going to happen. We just did not know it was going to be this. So this is very shocking. How do CM Punk rebound from this? You know, how does he get the crowd on his side? I mean, the dude was injured. You know, technically, that's what happened. That's the story they're trying to tell, that he went for that kick, put too much pressure on his left leg, and his foot injury came back, and then Moxley took advantage with that ass, got the 1, 2, 3, and now is the undisputed AEW champion. That's crazy. We did not see this coming at all, man.
And speaking of story and moving forward, like, I don't know, we probably touched this last week, but some of y'all know the story. But there's been a lot of tension in the locker room, and especially with CM Punk and also Hangman Page and everything. So I'm just trying to figure out, where did this lead to? Because some of us been saying that CM Punk might turn heel and all this stuff, and then when MJF returns, he might not come back as a heel. He might come back as a babyface. So
right.
Or there's a scenario that maybe Punk and MJF are hitting cahoots together, and then well, we don't know. But all I know is, after this match, you can expect this storyline to involve Punk, MJF, Moxley, and Hangman Page. I don't know how this is gonna go, but especially you don't have no world title match at All Out. Well, for now, we just have to wait and see what's gonna happen next week, because some are saying that especially let's go to the casino ladder match. We don't know who's gonna be in it, so there's a scenario like whoever wins the casino ladder match might face Monster later on tonight. That's one scenario. But but we don't know what's gonna happen. And there's some saying that there's no way that Punk is not gonna be on the All Out show. There's no way that's not gonna happen, but we don't know.
Right.
That's why we're gonna wait until next week to see what happens. Especially they're gonna be in Chicago for all week for Dynamite, Rampage, and then for All Out on Sunday. So we're just gonna wait it out and see what happens. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of scenarios after this match. We don't know what's gonna happen. We're just basing our opinions. We don't know what's gonna happen, but we're just gonna
Right.
wait on next week.
I mean, after how badly we predicted this week's show for last week, I don't want to say nothing now. I just want to watch it because they obviously got a plan and they have a story that they're trying to tell. Um, and I think we're in store for something good. But man, how great is this for Mox? I mean, I think Mox has a lot of haters out there. Mox really does have a lot of haters, and you can't, like, no one can do it like Moxley, bro. Like, he got his own style. Is the style for you? Is the style yours? Apparently, I mean, is yours his style? Not for you, and it's apparent that because you guys are hating on him. But look at the man's schedule, and look how much he wrestles outside of AEW. There's no other wrestler that's doing a major television show, and doing all these indie promotions at the level that he's doing it. He's a draw, period. If he comes to your town, you're gonna go get a ticket because the man is a draw. So that's the most important. And he's killing in the ring. And he's really putting behind some classic matches. And he's a part of history again, AEW history. This crazy moment where Mox squashed CM Punk in a championship match. Now Punk is history as well on the losing side. And this is interesting to have such a big star take such an embarrassing loss. Have someone who talks the most stuff take such an embarrassing loss. So, I mean, but it has the wrestling world talking today. The wrestling world is buzzing. I see it all over my YouTube feed. I know you guys see it. I see everyone, really talking about it. So, I mean, that's what you want to do, right? You want to get people talking about it. You want people to look at your product. You want people to come over and be like, oh, what they do. Let me watch this match for myself. I mean, that clip on YouTube last night before I went to sleep had 304,000. So I'm sure the clip has more now. So, I mean, that's what you want, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like even the commentary team say like, "Oh, this was supposed to be the summer of part three," but
Right.
but in the words of Kofi Kingston, "Oh no."
Oh no.
Yeah,
So look, even right now, um, that link, that video I was just talking about, it has 1 million. So from last night, 304,000 before I went to bed, like around midnight, to right now, it's at 1 million already. So I mean, I think it's doing its job. You feel me? I think they did exactly what they wanted to get done. So boom, there you go.
yeah, exactly. And if Punk didn't injure his foot, then we would have definitely had the summer apart, and then they would have gone on with the original storyline that they was gonna go with. But a lot of things happen in wrestling. Some things got to get changed up. So that's why we are in the summer of Mox, and he's been hailing that, and now he's officially the one and only two-time AEW World Champion.
Officially, no questions asked about it. Now, also, I mean, look what happened. This happened in a Conor McGregor type fight. You know what I'm saying? So if you want your product to feel more legit, look what happened to Conor McGregor. They had all that build up to that fight. Fight starts, he breaks his ankle. And then the world's crazy about that. Like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? His ankle looked gnarly. So this makes it seem like this is some stuff that would really happen. They went ahead, stopped that fight like that in UFC. It would have kept going. You know what I'm saying? Like, So this makes it feel like, anything can kind of happen now, and it does bring like a realer feel to the product because damn, this is a championship match and he just injured the foot that we all know he just injured. You see what I'm saying? And he, they sold it so well. And I don't know. I mean, it takes a lot for Punk to go out there and put all his reputation on a line like that and take such a bad beating. But that's what happens to UFC guys all the time. That's what happens to real, like, I don't want to say real, but, sports that's not predetermined. That happens in that world all the time where buildup happens, something, messes up. Now, what is going to happen in All Out? Who will Mox face in All Out? We thought we knew the answers and we didn't have the answers, Sway. We don't have the answers, Sway. So what's going to happen at All Out? Somebody tell me.
Yeah, a lot of the people are asking Tony Khan, well, what's going to be the main event all out? And then Tony Khan just walk away. I'm like, come on, he's not going to tell you. He wants you to be surprised.
Man, last night's episode felt like classic AEW. You can't get this type of entertainment from any other wrestling promotion, in my opinion.
All right, damn. Let's move on. Well, I feel like we've been talking about too much. Well, let's just wait. But let's move on. Christian Cage was backstage. He was wearing a elbow bracelet. Like it was nothing too serious. I think he was just selling it off from the brawl he had with Jungle Boys last week. So he was backstage and he said he asked Jungle Boy, and he said he was trying to do all of it to motivate Jungle Boy, but Jungle Boy would never be as smart or as talented as him. So at All Out, if Christian wants to see average, he won't get it. He accepts Jungle Boy's challenge at the pay per view. So we all knew it was going to happen. And then, like I said before, where does Luchasaurus lies in all this? So
yeah, that's the question. He's still wearing that black. Until he wears green again, I don't want to hear nothing about it.
Exactly. So moving on. Ricky Starks came out, said he was pissed off from the ending of Team Taz to losing the FT championship to Powerhouse Hobbs turning on him. When Stark was injured with a broken neck last year, Hobbs called him every day, but Hobbs is jealous of Stark's success. Starks was upset at Hobbs for hitting him in the neck, and he got emotional. He's a low down, dirty slime ball scheme snake, and starts up wants a match at All Out. And then he even quote a quote from New Jack City. He said, "Yeah, you bring your $5 ass to All Out." Yeah, he should have just said he. I wish he would have said,
Did I
"You
make
bring your."
change?
I wish he would have said, "You bring your $5 ass to All Out before I have to make change."
Yeah, he ain't finished the whole quote. My wife even said that. Like she yelled out, like, it doesn't say make change. That's the whole quote. But yo, how difficult was it to be in Ricky Stark's shoes last night and accomplish what he was able to accomplish? The crowd was still buzzing from the CM Punk Moxley thing. I know I was. I was saying wow the whole time, loudly in my house. And then when he came out, I was still thinking about the Moxley thing, but he connected with the audience. He looked at the audience in their eyes. He connected with them. His performance was incredible, and it got them on his side, and it got them listening when everybody was still buzzing about how difficult it was to follow that moment. And Starks knocked it out the park. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He got everybody to freaking listen to him after such a big event just happened in AEW history. And he still was able to connect with the audience and got us to listen. Dude, what a hell of a promo. One of the best promos I've seen in a very, very long time in wrestling, period. And I say that knowing that the Mox promo is coming up. And that was also one of the best promos I've seen in wrestling in a very long time.
And along with the fact you got a story here when Starks brought up the neck injury, and then Powerhouse Hobbs hit him in the neck. So so this definitely brings a story there. and then into the match. So I like the build up now going into the match.
Definitely. Like this was, and I've been saying the whole time since this rivalry started, I need to hear more promo work from these guys to sell this story. That's what I need. And they're giving it to me, and I'm loving it. So now I'm really excited for this match and All Out.
Yeah. And then John Moxley was backstage. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Was that not how it was supposed to go? Everyone write him off, but those people don't matter. The answer to any power may be in professional wrestling is John Moxley. I am professional wrestling, and I'm not just some guy. I am the guy." You kind of quote Roman Reigns there. People may ask, when is my time? But Moxley's time is right now. Kind of quote John Cena and Roman Reigns there. John Cena.
Right? He was doing the my time is now like a month. I was like, oh, there goes Cena. But no, this promo here, man, go back and watch that promo and look Mox in his eyes. There is no lies detected. He believed every single word that came out of his mouth. This episode of Dynamite can be nominated for an Emmy. That's how great the performances was last night. That's how believable the promos was last night in this episode of Dynamite. I mean, put this episode up for an Emmy, and it might be the first wrestling show to ever win a goddamn Emmy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got the Rampage lineup, and then we got the AEW's trios tournament match with House of Black versus the Dark Order. And if you see the third man, it's a mystery. So could we see Hangman and Page be that third man? We don't know. And we got the TNT Championship Open Challenge match with Warlow versus Ryan Nither. I don't know who that is, but Jay Cargill speaks, and then we got the RH world title match between Claudio Castanovas versus the Natural Dusty Rhodes, and then the this match here, which leads to this story. So we got Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello versus Ortiz and Ruby Soho. Now, here's a story here. We got the news that Eddie Kingston got suspended because Heyman says it says Sammy Guevara got into a fist fight backstage. So this led to so I think they were supposed to have a match at All Out, but I don't think that's gonna happen right now after what happened backstage. So this is a lot of talents that's not getting along at backstage. So it's only gonna have to figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. And then for Dynamite next week, we have Tony Storm and Carter Shia versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Jamie Hayter. And then Brian Danielson versus Jake Hager. And then for All Out next Sunday, we got Brian Danielson versus Chris Jericho, the AEW World Trios Championship Finals, the Fatal 4-Way to crown the interim Women's World Champion, Tony Storm, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Carter Shida. Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage, FTR and Warlow versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Guns, the Casino Ladder match to determine the number one contender for the AEW World Title, Swerve Our Glory versus the Acclaim for the tag team titles, and then Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
Sound like a good rampage.
Yep. And then before we get into the trios the tournament match, we got a video package recapping Kenny Omega's return last week, and then Don Callis joined commentary for the next match, which is the United Empire with Real Ospreay, Mark Davis, and Kyle Fletcher versus the Death Triangle, Pac, Penta Masura, and Ray Phoenix. Oh my God! I'm not even gonna go.
Bro.
It's great. I'm not even.
How could you do the play-by-play on this one, bro?
Yeah, this was just like the Jay Lethal and That's Where Hardware match. This was an absolute banger for this one.
Yo, this match right here, this match right here, this match right here. This is another match that you can put on for someone who is not a normal watcher of professional wrestling. And they can watch this match and say, what the hell is going on? This is amazing. I mean, this is the reason why I watch AEW right here. The match, the paces of the match is undeniable. That the guys in that ring have to be really, really good at what they're doing to be safe and to make it look that damn dangerous at the same time. I mean, lightning speed, lightning speed. I mean, that is their way of showing that I'm the best because I can go at this rate and that I don't need these long, drawn out, slow down moments in my match. I'm quick, I'm fast, and I'm aggressive. That's what we are. We're not that. And that last night was just definitive of what their style is. With the Lucha Bros and Death Triangle, with Will Ospreay and the Aussie Open. I mean, these guys, I mean, the moment between Pac and Will Ospreay, I mean, like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, what is going on? The Aussie Open, man, I don't know their names too well, but those guys are great too. Like they're aggressive. The way they did their power slam, they both did the power slam the same way, where they just pick the guy up, scoop him, and then let his own body weight take him down. They don't it just looks aggressive and it looks dirty. You know, it's bowling shoe ugly, as JR would say. But like I picked up on those little things, the aggressiveness of this match, man. What did you think about this match, dude?
Oh, like my goodness! Like if you think this match is gonna be great, wait until next week. But we'll get into that later on after we discuss it.
Next week.
So
Wow.
yeah. So after the last commercial break, Phoenix hit a springboard hurricanrana, but Osprey landed on his feet. Phoenix hit the rolling cutter. Penta took out Davis with a step up dive. Phoenix landed tornado on Fletcher. Back in the ring, Osprey countered the Black Arrow into a cradle for a good near fall. Then Pat reversed the Stormbreaker into a hurricanrana pin for another good fall near fall. We got a parade of big moves, including a step up destroyer for Penta on Fletcher. Osprey caught Pat moonsault, but Pat adjusted into a DDT and set up for the Black Arrow. Fletch pulled Osprey out of the ring, leading Pat to take out both men with a moonsault off the ring post. And then Kip Saban was shown at ringside with his underrated overhead box mask. Pat unmasked him. It was some guy with his mask, with his mouth duct tape, leading to Saban appearing and attacking Pat from behind. Back in the ring, Davis hit a repeating of layers of Phoenix, and Fletcher took out Penta with a drop kick. Osprey hit an assist uncutter for the win. Now, I didn't think the United Empire was going to win because all the stories I've been hearing about the health concerns about Will Osprey. But I think like after next week's show, I think man, maybe that's when he's going to take some time off. But he still look good tonight. But and yeah, other than that, and speaking of next week, after the match, Kenny Omega's music played, and he came out with the Young Bucks, and they stare down the United Empire ahead of their match the next week Dynamite.
Yo, this is crazy. I mean, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Again, I was watching AEW last night with people who normally don't watch professional wrestling, right? Um, they normally don't watch, and it was like, so what? Who are those guys, and what is that match going to be like? I'm like, this is a match you wouldn't want to miss. Like, this is a match you pay $50 for a pay per view for. This is how you get all out. So Will Ospreay, Aussie Open versus the Bucks and Kenny Omega. Like, this is what we've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Like, the New Japan guys and AEW guys coming to in Chicago. In Chicago, Trico. Like, that is what is going to be a hell of a wrestling audience who's going to appreciate everything these guys do. You're in Punk's home turf. Today you're in Cleveland, so you're in Mox's turf. Now you're about to be in Chicago, the holy land of Conk. I mean, this is what you've been waiting for. MJF return will be major. And if he's babyface on top of that, bruh, bruh, just watch out. Like, I mean, this is AEW firing on cylinders. They've been kind of disjointed these last couple of weeks, and they just been kind of getting on. But this is AEW at its best, in my opinion. This is why AEW, I think, has a long life, and they can keep doing things like this. I know keeping that pace can be exhausting, but as long as they know when to put it on and those moments to put it on, this was a moment to put it on. And apparently last night, TK had did a whole speech and let other people do a speech in front of the roster. And maybe that's why last night episode was just so damn on the money. I mean, every match was just great. And Kenny Omega being back, man, he just brings back such a legitimateness, the elitism of it all, right? Like those guys are the elite. And Kenny Omega has probably put on some of the best matches in the last 10 years, more than any other wrestler. So, I mean, this is the guy that this company was built for. So having him back, having the Bucks by him, having Will Ospreay and Ozzy Open across these New Japan guys, I mean, this is what we've been waiting on. So I'm excited for All Out, brother.
Oh yeah, and if you guys want to check out the Elite versus and the United Empire promo that they had after the show off the air, is on YouTube. I recommend you guys go check that out and so forth. And then again on this Friday's Rampage, we'll have the semifinals of the trios tournament set, and then next week we'll see who's gonna go into the finals. Like I said, we have a lot of questions regarding the world title situation, what's gonna happen between now and All Out, and but a lot of good matches are being lined up for All Out, especially good rivalries there. So yeah, so it's y'all stay tuned for Rampage and see about what's gonna happen there. And I expect some more matches to be announced at All Out as well. But yeah, so yeah, we got one more Rampage before that they'll be in Chicago for all week for that Dynamite and that Rampage, and then for the pay-per-view as well.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting week for wrestling, no matter what company that you watch. I mean, WWE got a lot of things going on, Clash of the Castle and all that thing. But whatever company you watch, if you happen to watch both, prepare to be exhausted because you're about to be up for like the next 80 freaking hours loving wrestling. So yeah, next week, looking forward to it. Can't wait to watch All Out. I know it's going to be a banger. I might have to make a little wrestling party for this event. I might have to, go get some wings and things and some pizza or something and invite some folks over because I got a feeling that electricity is in the air, that this is going to be a hell of a pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, and like I said before, we got Clash of the Castle, you got Worlds Collide, and then you got All Out. It's gonna be a crazy at a Labor Day weekend. I know everybody's gonna be with their families and every day for Labor Day weekend. So yeah, it's gonna be a crazy weekend. So like I said before, the fireworks has just begun. So we'll see how that goes from there. But
Yes, sir. Now, real quick, I want to pitch something real quick, Trico. I'm going to make my announcement here, okay? So next week, I'm going to say Tuesday, I will be launching a new YouTube channel called Something to Lose. This is a YouTube channel that's going to be focusing on fitness, weight loss, and professional wrestling. I'm going to document my journey and my current weight loss journey. and also talk about professional wrestling. I'm going to be interviewing other athletic people, so I can talk to them more often and get tips and tricks on how to maintain my diet and maintain my fitness regimen. I'm also going to try to get professional wrestlers on there and interview them as well and talk about their career, and also have them give me tips for fitness and nutrition. So my first video next Tuesday I will be putting out is going to be entitled "Why I'm Not Ready to Watch WWE Yet," or maybe again. Yeah, I'm still working on the title, obviously, but why I'm not ready to watch WWE again. I'm going to talk about what's going on in the WWE, my journey as a wrestling fan, and why I am not ready to commit to that company just yet. So that's going to be next Tuesday for my brand new YouTube channel, Something to Lose.
Well, I will say this: you may want to watch Raw and SmackDown because that's all under Triple H control.
I know,
Maybe not NST yet because that's still under Bruce. So yeah. So
I know,
we'll see.
I know. And listen, I am a Triple H guy. I was, listen, and I'm going to talk about this on my episode. I even got some old pictures of me at the NXT at Full Sail in 2018 and behind the scenes stuff and how much I love that brand at that moment. And I just heard that they're, brought KO out in his NXT gear, and that really excited me as a Kevin Steen fan. But Kevin Owens me after NXT. I was there for some of those shows. Definitely a big Kevin Owens fan, and definitely a big Triple H fan. Always a Shawn Michaels fan. Everything is telling me I need to watch again, but I'm not ready yet. And I'll tell you why I'm not ready on my Something to Lose YouTube show coming out Tuesday.
Yeah, and speaking of the combat sports and everything, be sure to tune in to this week's Respect the Combat episode. Not only we touched on All Out, Clash of the Castle, and Worlds Collide, but also we touched on the gameplay that was revealed on AEW Games for the AEW Fight Forever. So we touched on that. So be sure to look out for that episode this week. But other than that, anything else you want to plug in before we wrap up?
Real quick, I do got one more thing. Luckily, my company, we just been nominated for ATL's Hottest. This is an award show, but it's based on votes. So you have to go to my Facebook profile, look at the post I just put up about it, go to that website and vote for Cupcake Retro Studios. But just to be nominated is just such an honor. I'm up there with a lot of other really talented, really dope production companies who's been killing in Atlanta. So just really excited. Thanks to Jaquetta. She's like one of the dopest caterers in Atlanta. I'm always having her on my sets when I have my sets to dish out delicious food. So yeah, just atlshottest.com. Go to it, look for a TV and film production company. We are up there. Give us a vote. I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like every episode, I'm always posting the MTD website page. So keep looking at our webpage, and we'll keep you guys updated on what's going on in post, and we'll let y'all know when we have the premiere and everything else. So just keep just stay tuned, and we'll keep you guys updated on that as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But other than that, he is Leland, and I'm Trico, and we're signing off.
Peace.